Nate Habermeyer, Marge's grandson. And I'm up here to speak on behalf of all the grandchildren and tell you about what Marge meant to us. And I'm really grateful for this opportunity, so thanks for asking me, Diane. I'd like to start with a story that I really like about Marge. My brother and I were driving from out west back through, and we stopped for lunch. We were sitting downstairs in her basement in Ben's study, and she was telling us how she was going to buy this digital camera, and Rick was helping her search for this digital camera, like the best kind. She was asking us how much and describing what he was telling her to buy. And so Eric and I were sort of curious by this line of questioning, and we asked her, "Why do you need a digital camera, Grandma?" And she says, "Well, you know I have to take pictures when I go to Norway." "You're going to Norway?" And she was, and she did, and that was several years ago, but I love that story because it sort of exemplifies the type of person that she was, and how she was daring, she was genuine and spirited. And I think the challenge that I have with summing up her life in a few short minutes is that it's not really a challenge. I think it's more of an opportunity to focus on what her qualities are, or were, and her impact on all of our lives, the grandchildren. So Marge was many things to many people. I said spirited. She was supportive, respectful, genuine, opinionated, validating, honest, and direct. And all of those just wonderful, great things. And Marge was most proud of our family and friends, and interested in our growth. She was always interested in what we had to say and what we were doing. And she showed it by being an incredible listener. And my brother, when I asked, after I got this opportunity to speak, I wanted to know, like I had written some words, but I wanted to know what my cousins thought about this. And so I asked them about Marge, and my brother remarked that she has had an unassertive, noble presence about her. And she was very social and loved to be around people, but at the same time, she was an incredible listener. And she would listen to what you had to say, and she was genuinely interested in what you were doing. And the combination of somebody that's that social and that listen, like it's a rare combination. And as a professional communicator, that's something that I aspire to and admire very much. And so we always had an opportunity to talk to her and tell her how we were doing. My last memory of Marge was at my wedding last August, and she was there, and there was sort of a question of whether or not she was going to make it because of her health, and she did, up to Toronto in Canada where I live with my wife. And she was energetic and full of life, and probably had the legs of a 20-year-old, and she was just fantastic. It was so great to be with her and to have her there at the wedding. Another story that I like is one that Jen told me about, and her daughter Cora, and that Marge loved just watching Cora, and she got to see Cora come over to the hospice to Quiet Oaks, I think several times, and she relished and enjoyed Cora's presence, and just watching her, as Jen describes, explore the room and be there. And she was so proud of Cora. And so I continually go back and talk about Grandma being a great listener, and she always remembered what was important to us. And one great story is one that Katie told me via email, and she said that when she was in 6th grade, Katie wanted to be all grown up. So she decided that she wanted everybody to tell her, or to call her, Kate, and that was how she was going to be really grown up. And so there were only 2 people that called her Kate in 6th grade. It was her 6th grade teacher and Grandma. And I think for 10 years or so after that, she continued to call Katie Kate because she knew that that was so important to Katie. Kate. But that's what Grandma Marge was. She listened and she remembered what was important to us, and she was aware of that. I think Grandma understood our potential and always showed it, because she was constantly supportive and positive and very appreciative towards us and what we had to say, and along the way of our lives and our development. And I think that progeny have a desire to make their parents and grandparents proud. And for me, it was seeing her and sharing the joy and the excitement at my wedding. And when she pulled me aside to say that she had such a great time and she loved the ceremony, and she was so proud of me for marrying such a beautiful girl that was so smart at the same time. And I think to be able to receive that from her was one of the greatest gifts, like her approval and her pride. And I think she spreads that around to all of us in her family. Not just the Moore side, but also her family as well, the Dahl side. I think just to sum it up, a quote that I came across the other day by a poet and philosopher, Goethe, was treat people as if they were what they ought to be, and you will help them become what they are capable of becoming. I think that sums up who Grandma Marge was.